Am I a comic book LARPer? I don't know. Let me explain. So I don't know if this is a similar issue with other people as it is for me, but I go to my local comic shop every single week. And sometimes I'll have a pull list. I'll ask my guy Scott to put aside a couple of books for me. But more often than not, I kind of come in and I just browse. The reason for that is most of my comic book reading habits are independent comics. You know, Image, Mad Cave, random publishers that I've never heard of. And occasionally I'll dip into some DC or Marvel if they're having a big event. And my guys, Sean and Randy, who are two older guys, they've been reading comics for 40, even probably 50 years. And they'll put me on to a lot of back issues that I might have missed because I wasn't around in the 1970s or most of the 1980s for that matter. But oftentimes they'll say, hey, read this book or check this out or check that out. Or Scott, the guy who runs the comic shop, will sell me on a book and he says, hey, check this out. A lot of people are reading this. And I'll pick up an issue. And what I'll often do is I'll get my pull list, bring it home inside my studio, and I'll set it to the side and I just won't read it. Not because I don't like it or I think that it's bad or something like that, but it'll just slip my mind and I just won't read it. So essentially what happened is I was cleaning out my closet and I came across a pile of comic books, some of which I read, but a lot of which I didn't even remember picking up. And oftentimes too, I would do what I would call double dipping. I would buy single issues of a book, but then later on buy the trade, which is really, really weird. But I don't know. I just like comics. Sometimes I walk the line of being a comic book reader and being a comic book collector. And I think oftentimes people do that, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is this pile of comics behind me on my desk right here. We're going to go through it and I'm going to determine which books I've read and which books I haven't read, which books I probably have double on, and which books from the books that I haven't read, I want you guys to tell me if they're good, they're bad, they're in between, and if I should put time aside to read them. So let's give it a go. Let's check it out. So this is interesting. I picked this up from that comic book shop, I think down the street from me, the Hobby Shop. This is Punisher Max, and this is written by Garth Ennis. And the reason why I picked this up was because of that character right there, Barracuda, which I had at the time I had never seen him, I never heard about him. And actually, here's more issues of the book. Actually, get a close up of his face. Mean looking thuggish dude. So I had to pick that up. But the crazy thing is, I've never read this version of it, primarily because I always thought that version of Garth Ennis's Punisher was this, the Welcome Back Frank story. Now I have read this, and this was pretty good. This is kind of what a lot of the modern day Punisher TV shows taken after. And it's a good issue. This one kind of shows Punisher coming back to his old neighborhood. You know, there's a mob boss, a female mob boss, who's just an absolute bitch on wheels. And essentially Frank comes back, regulates that. It was another guy who was a white suit on, and Frank kind of like shows them up, but it's really, really good. But I confused that Garth Ennis Punisher story with this one, thinking that they were one and the same. And I read Welcome Back Frank, but never got around to the story with the Barracuda in it. So I have to get on my ball and read that book as well. Let's move on. Next up, we got Big Game by Mark Millar. Now this is interesting too, because I've read almost every single comic book. Well, let me back up. This is essentially Mark Millar's version of his Avengers, bringing all his independent comic book properties, or most of his independent comic book properties, together in one issue. It's a 1 of 5 series. So it's a Nemesis, Kick-Ass, the vampire kids from the story. What do you call it? Fright Night? Is it Fright Night? No, Fright Night's in the movie. Something where the kids become vampire. Oh, there it is. I got it. Night Club. This was actually interesting. This was pretty damn good. A group of kids become vampires and they fight ancient vampires that are in the area, and the ancient vampires kind of hunt them down. They're in this book right here. Now, funny enough, when it comes to comic books, there's oftentimes a lot of what I would call double dipping, where you might buy 1 or 2 issues of a run, forget about them, or they sell out at your local comic shop, and then you go buy the trade, but then you never get around to reading the trade. That has happened to me plenty of times, but I do, in fact, have the trade of Big Game around here somewhere. Let me see. It's around somewhere. We'll come back to it. It's a whole pile of shit on his desk. Anyway, while we're on the subject of Mark Millar, let's get into some more stuff. What do we got here? I'm just gonna hold up random shit. Mark Millar's Ambassadors. Now, I've read this entire run. This is a mini series. It was really good. And I also have the trade paperback of that as well. By the way, this video is going to be random as hell. And I'm actually re-recording it because I had the microphone very far away from my face and I talk very low. So let's re-record it and let's just see what we have. It's going to be very all over the place as well. So let's see. This is a good book. If anybody is familiar with YouTuber Comic Tom, Crashdown. This was actually a really good book. I like this. And it was him, Comic Tom, and Ben Templesmith. I actually met Ben Templesmith a couple of years ago at New York Comic Con. Really cool guy. Crashdown was a good book. I did read that right away. Now, I told you, this is a mixture of books that I found at my local comic shop, at certain hobby shops, and some of them aren't even American books or English books, 2 of which are this. So last year, me and my family took a trip to Germany and to Switzerland. And anytime I go outside the country, I look for 2 things: a comic book shop and a vinyl record shop. And I happen to find both. But at the comic book shop, these were 2 books that I found. I don't even know how to pronounce them, but let's go through one by one. Well, this one I do know how to pronounce. This is Highway to Hell. And I want to say Davadi Dosta Delete. I'm butchering your name, brother. I'm sorry, man. But look at this. Look how cool that freaking cover is. That's cool. And I believe, what language do Switzerland people speak? I don't know. I don't know if this is Swiss or German, but the artwork inside of it is freaking dope. I love it. And that cover of him just holding that severed head, I hope I don't get flagged by YouTube, but that is pretty damn cool. And then another book, I really don't know how to pronounce any of this, but this cover caught my eye. I don't know how to pronounce it at all, but it was really, really cool. So those are 2 books that I got while I was out. Haven't read them because I can't read the language. So those don't count. Those won't count against my my LARPing points. But let's continue. So comic books also means manga. And if it's one of my favorite mangakas of all time, it's Junji Ito. And of course, we got to start off with Uzumaki. Look at the size of that bastard. That is a thick book. Definitely read it. Next one, probably my favorite Junji Ito book that I've read that doesn't really get a lot of play. A lot of people always talk about Uzumaki or Hellstar Horimiya. Let's talk about Gaio. Gaio, bro. Like body horror to the 9th degree. If anybody out there is a Junji Ito fan, if anybody has read any other book from Junji Ito that has worse body horror than this, let me know, and I promise you I will read that. And the next one on the list from Junji Ito is Tomi. That's thicker than both Uzumaki and Gaio probably put together. Read the entire one. And this one, Censor. Now this is where the LARPing comes in. Got this book because I heard great things. Even boy, look at this. Montclair Book Center. Sometimes I'm just out and about. It's in Jersey, baby. I just buy something that I like, never get around to reading it, but I will read that, count it towards the LARPing points. And then let's see, this book right here, random. Gothic Knights by David Barber and Tim Visual. Now, Tim Visual, for those of you who don't know, he also drew the comic book Faust, which I also have a copy of. Got halfway through it, haven't finished it, but yeah, I think Jasper Johnson is the main character's name. Absolutely love it. Love that book so much. Very deadly, very well drawn, very bloody, even though it's in black and white, but love it. Tim Vigil he doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, as a comic book artist. He draws women very, as you can tell by that cover, very well. Let's continue. Another random book, Wolverine, Enemy of the State. This is volume 1. Excellent book. This is where Wolverine gets mind controlled and there's a whole bunch of ninjas in it. This is volume 1. I have volumes 2 and 3. Didn't get around to volumes 2 and 3. So we won't count that towards my LARPing points because I actually read it. So yeah, screw you guys. Let's go out of left field really, really quick and go with this book. A lot of you probably have never heard of this because I don't hear it get mentioned a lot in the zeitgeist, but this is Pop Gun War. This is more like David Lynch kind of meets, I don't even know who, but it's a very surrealist book about a little kid just wandering around this make-believe, I want to say New York City. And it's very inspiring to me. I'll call it weird. Hopefully the creator will get mad at me, but I love weird little existential books like that. Let's move on. So this, I believe, is Daredevil Cold Day in Hell, but I can't tell. I got it because the cover's good, but I have Daredevil Cold Day in Hell around here somewhere. Y'all not gonna play me. Hold on. It's around here somewhere. It might have fell. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Back to Mark Millar, Big Game. I said I read the issue 1. This is the entire trade paperback. That might have to count towards my LARPing point. I'm not keeping score. You guys keep score. But yeah, I know this contains all of his independent comic book creations, and this is pretty much his Avengers. So I got to dig in and finish that up. Next round, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I bought this book completely out of FOMO. I had never heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I seen advertisements all over line for it, but I have to read it. The art looks really sick. So that counts towards a LARPing point, but I think I'm up one. Next floppy, we got The World to Come with White Black Panther. I know it's more than that. I'm not trying to trivialize the work. I love Christopher Priest, but it's White Black Panther, bro. That's what it is. Anyway, moving on. So this is actually the special edition Batman and the Joker Deadly Duo, which is funny because I have the Ashcan version of this and I have the trade paperback version of this. So I did read issue 1, didn't wind up finishing it, but I will. So half LARPer, half real comic book fan on that one. Anyway, next up, we're going to get into a little bit more of YouTuber creation / comic book creator thing. So anyway, let's start here. This man, if you're in the comic book space, needs no introduction. Richard C. Myers, LAX. This is more of a one-shot. Really liked this book. Pretty funny. It was a good, funny version of his work. Definitely read it. Even in the last couple pages of the book, he kind of, tongue in cheek goes, the book didn't make that money, or the Kickstarter didn't make that much money, so there won't be a follow-up issue. But while we're on Richard C. Meyer, let's continue. Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers Forever, excuse me. This was not my first introduction to his work. I believe this is his first book or rendition of his first book. This was actually pretty good. This is better than what I expected it to be. Jawbreakers is a really, really cool title. Very well drawn. I don't know if your boy Zach actually wrote this. Yo, he did. Written by Richard C. Meyer, because I know he has Chuck Dixon write a couple of his books. And let's stay on Richard C. Meyer for another quick second. Give me a sec. So while we're on the topic of Richard C. Meyer, Rock and Roll Ninja. I actually read this book and loved it. This was pretty damn cool. I know Richard C. Meyer came up with the concept of it. He scripted it out. I think he wrote it in conjunction with Chuck Dixon, but this is actually blew me away in terms of like what indie comics can be. Art by Matt Barr, absolutely sick. This is about a group of Vietnam veterans who leave the war, become a rock band, and then a group of ninjas kind of descend upon them and attack them, and they have to kind of come back and rip shit up. The artwork by Matt Barr is actually really good. So yeah, this for me at least is one of the highest bars of a independent comic book creator, because the art is just amazing. The packaging's amazing. Like I said, these two books, Jawbreaker and Rock and Roll Ninja, nice if I can show it to you. In conjunction, these two books were actually my first introduction to Richard C. Myers' work. I haven't read anything other than that, but so far so good. I dig it. And yeah, while I'm on that topic of independent YouTuber creators, I gotta bring it up, man. Like, look, I support everybody. I don't want to hear no politics or political nonsense or whatever. This is about comic books and LARPing and non-LARPing. So let's do it. ISUM number one. ISUM number one, read it, enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It was better than what I thought. This was the inaugural book for the Rippaverse, and I think he did a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie. This was good. I haven't read any other Rippaverse books. I hear mixed reviews about them. I'm not one to judge. I mean, look, like, you feel whatever you feel about Eric July. I have my thoughts as well, but you got to give credit where credit's due. The guy created a comic book company, comic book media company. He's putting his money where his mouth is. From what I hear, the quality of the books kind of fluctuate, whatever. But for my money, ISUM number one was a pretty good read. So there that is. We'll leave it there. And while we were on other YouTubers, let's go down. This man is also a YouTuber, but this isn't even a comic book, but I just figured I'd shout it out because this was in the pile with the rest of my stuff that I kind of read but didn't read. This is John Haynes, A Conversation with Death by Sean James. Now, I don't know, some of you may be familiar with Sean James, some of you might not be, but I think the brother has a pretty good grip on his universe. I've read a couple of pages of this. Is more of a prose. This is not a comic book, but I think he has a comic book version of this book. Not bad, but yeah, if you haven't already, check it out. These two books, these two graphic novels, I'll do a double book because they're from the same guy. One is Deep Sleeper and the other one is Coffin by Phil Hester. Excellent art, excellent stories. I got to take my hat off to their creator, Phil Hester, and I think both of them, Mike Huddleston. They did both. The creative team of Phil Hester and Mike Huddleston. Really good books. This video is already long enough as it is. Let me know if you guys want me to dig through more, but ultimately what I was wanted to do is kind of see, did I read any of these books that I bought? Did I double buy them? And should I go back double read, or is there any ones that I didn't read that I should read again? Like, I covered Daredevil, right? Look, this is another Daredevil issue, and it still has a price on it, and I paid for it. I think this is a gold right now. Look at that cover. Sometimes you just buy things because it's cool. Sometimes you buy things because you heard the story is great. I don't know, like, I just love collecting and reading comic books. I don't think I'm a LARPer. I think I actually enjoy the medium. It's just that sometimes it's hard to find time to sit down and read the books. Sometimes if I go on vacation or if I'm on a long bus ride or train ride, that's when I can get my reading time in, which is a big reason why I collect complete volumes. And again, this isn't even half my collection. This is just a few of them. I haven't even gone through all the stuff on the pile back there, but let me know if you guys want to see more. If not, I completely understand. This video was chaotic, but thank you for watching. Keep buying and keep reading comic books.